Hello everyone, welcome to the Wargaming Parrot. I'm David and today's video is going to be all about the signs your cockatiel shows when they're unwell or ill. I thought it would be an important video to do as I often get questions about is my cockatiel unwell, is my cockatiel ill, and it's just something that gets asked a lot of, and this video may help clarify things. Now sadly in this video I will not be showing clips of unwell cockatiels, mainly because I don't want to give any misleading information. I don't want to show you things that may disturb you and may worry you, and I feel that describing these symptoms will be a lot better for you and more useful. Also, two other very important things that I need to mention before I get started. Context is key when you're looking at your cockatiel and working out if they're unwell. There are going to be certain symptoms that are going to be obvious that I'm going to describe in here in this video, and there's going to be certain symptoms that are less obvious. Look at these symptoms in context of how your cockatiel normally is. Look at their behaviour and what they're normally like. Secondly, if you have any major concerns, don't just watch a video, don't just leave a comment, go and take your cockatiel to an Avian Vet, because it's always better safe than sorry. And you know, if you don't catch something, it's always going to be a massive lot of regret. So if you're ever concerned, go to an Avian Vet and get things checked out. So to get started, I thought I'd talk about the eyes and nose, or nares. And one of the most common signs that a cockatiel is unwell would be a bit of discharge around their eyes or around their nares. And this can take all sorts of different forms. It can be crusty, can be sort of fluidy, can be all sorts of different things. And normally, if you do have discharge, it can indicate either an irritation or something stuck in the nares, a respiratory infection, or an eye irritation. And all of these things are things that need to be checked out and dealt with if you notice them. Another common sign your cockatiel may be unwell is if they're spending an awful lot of time inactive at the bottom of the cage. This means they're literally just sat there, they're not eating, they're not drinking, they're not doing anything. And this can obviously indicate they may be having difficulty getting up or flying and enjoying themselves. Now again, context is key here, because if your cockatiel's on the bottom of the cage, they're foraging, they're roaming around, and all their other behaviour is normal, then this isn't something that necessarily concern. However, if they're just sitting there and there's nothing else going on, it is something concerning and something maybe worth observing and getting checked out. Next one again is contextual, because you know your parrot best. It's so important to keep an eye on what your parrot's normally like and observe for different changes in behaviour. Have you noticed something different in their activity levels? Have you noticed they're more lethargic? Have you noticed their behaviour is completely changed? Sometimes parrots and cockatiels can get more aggressive when they're unwell, although more common signs of aggression are hormones or territorial behaviour. You know your parrot, so keep an eye on them and watch for any different changes in behaviour. Then, are they eating? Are they drinking? If they're not eating or drinking, that can be a very big telltale sign that something's wrong. So just watch your cockatiel, keep it in context and know what's going on, because you know your cockatiel best. Also related to this, if your cockatiel is excessively sneezing, I mean not just the occasional sneeze, but continuously sneezing or regurgitating in a non-hormonal way, these two behavioural aspects could indicate a problem. For example, the regurgitation could be a crop issue, and the sneezing could be something stuck in the nares. So remember, again, context is key with this. If they're doing anything that's sort of abnormal, just keep an eye on it and make sure you're on top of it. Another common issue would be a crop or yeast infection in the crop, and an indicator of this can be a very sour smelling breath. Now this occurred recently on TikTok actually, someone was talking about this, and they said that if a cockatiel's breath changes in any way, that is an indicator of this. Not really true. You're looking for that horrible sour milk smell, or a constant discharge around the mouth or inside the tongue and around there. That would indicate that sort of issue. Further to my last point as well, excessive regurgitation, constant regurgitation may indicate the same problem. Your cockatiel's movements and body posture may also give you a good sign that there's something wrong. For example, if there is excessive tail bobbing, and by that I mean they're just sitting relaxed and their tail's bobbing constantly, that could indicate laboured breathing. Similarly, laboured breathing is quite obvious to notice if there is a problem. Their mouth will be partially open, you will see their chest literally heaving, and you will just notice that something's slightly off with them. Again, context is key. If they've just had a big fly or an exercise session, just like with us humans, that's not really an issue. For example, with us humans, if you go out for a run, your heart rate's going to be really high. If you're just lying in bed and your heart rate's really going fast, that may indicate an issue with humans. Similarly for these guys, take it in context. Also, if your cockatiel has sort of like an odd wing posture, say for example the wings are like drooping or held forward and really pronounced, and again there's no exercise contextual factor there, that could also indicate an issue, and it's something to keep an eye on, because it's not really a common way to hold the wings. The wings, when they're held relaxed, are against the body and sort of like, or I don't know, the word would be flush against the body and nice and relaxed in their posture. Now this last sign could indicate lots of different health issues, so I'm not going to go into the individuals of what they could mean, but that is if your cockatiel has lots of feces stuck around their cloaca or their bottom. Normally any feces will just pass straight out and there won't be any mess or dirt. Sometimes there can be a very small amount of it, but if there's excessive build-up around there, that can indicate an issue, and it's something that's really highly recommended to get checked out. Again, small amounts, not really an issue, or if they just run through it, but you will be able to tell there is a very, very sort of like strong dividing line between if it's bad and if it's not, and it'd be quite obvious to you when you're looking at it to know what's going on there. Now, I don't want to talk too much about this because I don't want to cause any fear mongering or give any misleading information, but your bird's feces can also indicate problems. I'm going to leave a link which will be much more useful for me trying to describe it and you potentially misinterpreting what I'm saying, and hopefully that will help you work out if there's an issue there. Also, while I'm talking about this, something else just occurred to me. It's very important to carefully monitor your cockatiel's weight. If you're keeping an eye on their weight, that will give you an indicator of their general health. Say for example, your cockatiel has a sudden drop in weight, that can indicate an issue and needs to be checked out. And we're talking about a 10% drop. For example, if they're at about their average weight of about 100, they drop maybe a couple of grams, it's nothing to worry about really. If they drop, say for example, 15 grams, then that may be something concerning and something that needs to be looked into. Now, there are other signs that I could talk about in this video, but I feel like it's not really worth doing because a vet is much better qualified to explain them, and I am not. I'm just someone who's been around birds a lot of time and has worked with training them and all sorts of things like that. So if you have, as a reiterating again, if you have any major concerns, go and see an avian vet. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful, and also hope it didn't scare you at all, rather just gave you a lot of useful information about working out if your cockatiel's ever unwell. You can be best prepared. I also have a really useful video on cockatiel and parrot first aid, which I'll leave a card for now. But in the meantime, take care and see you later.